Hello everyone. So in this video we will discuss about Flywaydb. So we will understand what is Flywaydb and why to use it, and what are the use cases which we will discuss about, like when service and DB with the data already exist. Okay, and the use case number 2, like when you have a new service, you want to develop new service from the scratch, and you want to create a schema from the scratch. So these are the two use case I will discuss about in this video. So let's jump into the what is Flywaydb. So this is the Flywaydb is nothing but a popular framework for your database migration. Basically you have a script, and you want to run your script to change your schema, or just to do anything like insertion, DDL, or whatever the statement which you want to execute. So for that, this is the tool which helps a lot to do it automatically for you. Okay, so this is how we are going to discuss about Flywaydb. So this is the library which comes from the Springboot. Okay, so we can use it while developing application with the help of Springboot. So that's all about this Flywaydb in nutshell. And let's understand the use case. So basically we have this diagram here. So we have a user management typical microservice kind of, or service you can say, and it talk to database for the CRUD operation. And here the use case number 1 I am just talking about when you have a service already exist, and you want to create schema on the top of it, right? So for that we are gonna do this user management DB. This is another library, or you can say service, which we are gonna do that, and with the help of Flyway framework, and we run this application to update the schema, okay, to migrate our database, okay, with the help of script. Okay guys, so this is how the first use case talk about. So let's see in practical. So I have this user management microservice is kind of service, okay, and it is a typical service that you guys know, right? So this is like, you know, we have a controller and we have a service, and this is the main application, and it's a typical application, yeah, property which we have here, very simple. So let me run this, and since I'm using IntelliJ, so I have a database here, so I have injected this database. So in this we have a if you see this user entity, like we have a users table here. So in this table I have these two records. So this is the current structure of this user management, and the use case number 1 which I was talking about, we need to enhance our schema with the help of Flywaydb. Okay, so for that what we can do here, you can create a new project, okay, for using the Flywaydb. So let's run it. So go here, create new project. It is not showing. Okay, so I will give the name user -mgmt -db. Okay, so this is the name which I choose here, same service name -db. Okay, this is the Maven project. Next, so important thing is here is like you have to select the like JPA, okay, and from web, let me select this Spring Web, these two. And there is a most important selection is a Flyway migration along with the MySQL driver. Okay, so depend upon your database, like suppose somebody is using Postgres, then you can choose PostgreSQL driver, but in my case I have MySQL in my local, so I choose this MySQL driver with the Flyway migration. So it will add all the dependency which is needed for Flyway framework. Okay guys, so this is how I am going to create a project here. So this is the new window, and we have to update a set of properties in application.yaml. So before that, let's see what is the POM which we have. So I think let me remove this, I don't need this basically. So here we have a project with the Spring Boot starter parent, user management DB, name and description, these are optional, and we have a JPA web, Flyway core, Flyway, MySQL, and MySQL connector JS. So these are the dependency which automatically got added after selecting this checkbox, okay, Flyway migration checkbox while creating a project. Okay, and that's all. I think nothing else here. So the most important thing is, like, if you want to use the framework for Flyway for the database migration. So if you see here, so we have resource, we have application dot properties. Let me rename it. Okay, I used to work with YAML. Okay, control AD. Okay, so I need to add the properties for Flyway context. Okay, so I think I have prepared one notes here. So in this note I have this is the note. Let me copy this note. Okay, and put it here. I will discuss everything about this property one by one in next session. But in this session, my target is just to explain how the Flyway works for the two use cases which I have discussed. Okay, so this is the application user management DB. So these are the Flyway properties. Enable is true. Let me application.yaml. Okay, so these are the things which we have here, and I don't know, it is giving the complaint here. Oh, I got it. I think under spring 2 times they have added. Okay guys, okay, like that. So this is the one. Okay, so we have a spring application name is this, and Flyway property. So this is the Flyway property, data source property, and yeah, some logging property. Okay, I think let me tab out. Right, so that's it. So this is the thing. So I will explain all these things, but let's understand the magic. Okay, how we can update our schema with the help of Flywaydb. Okay, without doing anything. Okay, I mean to say without running your script manually. So what you have to do here, you have to just go here and just create one file, maybe I will say v1 underscore double underscore initial. Okay, dot sql. So this is the naming convention for the Flyway framework. So they expect under db dot migration folder, they expect the file name like capital V, then version number, double underscore, and then the description. Here the description is initial dot sql. Okay. So here I have chosen the version v1, and in our property we have the baseline is 0. Okay, we will talk about more in these properties later. So let's understand first. So I have a script handy in my note. So this is the note which I used to prepare and create for demo purpose. So basically I want to create one app setting data table here. Okay, so let me run this, use this. So let me use, so first of all I have to say use user underscore management. So this is the database. Okay, and then I want to create one table with the name app underscore settings with these two property, ID and the time zone. Okay, so later we can add more property with the alter statement, so we will see later. But for now I want, so I have a script here. Okay, so let me add this database here using IntelliJ. So I will choose MySQL here. Then here I will give my username and password, and here I will give database name user underscore management GMT, and then test the connection. Run with the 3306. Now this is success. Apply. Okay, so this is the database which I have connected in my IntelliJ, and I want to see what is the current structure. So I have a one table which is users. In this this is the current schema, guys. Okay, so I want to enhance my schema using Flywaydb. Okay, so for that we have created this project. We have added this script file under this folder. This is the convention, guys. Okay, we have to follow this way, and these are the property which we have added, like Flyway properties. Okay, and data source as usual, and GP properties. Okay, so this is it, guys, and let me run this project and we will see the magic how it will change the structure here. Okay, with the help of this script. So let's see. So let me run this application. Right click, run. Very simple, guys. Okay, I want to explain in a very simple manner. I want to keep it simple here. Okay, everything. So I think this is done. Okay, so let's refresh this page. You see the magic, guys. Okay, so here this table got created automatically, and this is the schema history, Flyway schema history. This is the kind of record keeping table, okay, meta table for Flyway itself. So it maintains the versioning. Okay, so we will discuss later for this table, but you can see here, this is the script which I wanted to execute to create a new table, which is app underscore settings, and this is how it has created automatically. Okay guys, so this is the advantage of Flywaydb, how to execute your script, okay, when you run your application, right, without touching your database. Okay, so that's it. This is the first use case. So we have the existing application. We have two records already in this application, okay, and in this DB, and we wanted to enhance our structure for this service. Okay, so if you see here use case, so this is how we have developed this library, this service, user management DB, using the Flyway framework with the help of Springboot. Okay, and we executed it, and it will updated our database here. Okay, as you can see here, so the database update was app settings. Okay, so subsequently, if you want to run this application again, then what will happen? Okay, let's see this. So because I don't want my data to be wiped out. Okay, say suppose if you want if you have a data here and you are creating the first time this, I don't want this to be deleted. Okay, that is the important thing. So for that we have this property baseline 0, and we have the version v1. Okay, so that's why it executed this the first version. Okay, and yeah, so that's it for this use case number 1 perspective. So we created the new service, which is user management DB, to enhance our schema. Okay, let's talk about use case number 2. Okay, so in the use case number 2, here when service and DB is new. Okay, so what we will do here, we will create a new service. Okay, and we will create a database schema, okay, from the scratch using this Flywaydb. Okay, so what we will do here, so this is the existing schema here. So let me wipe out these things. Okay, so I have a script here, drop database user management, create database, grant all privileges and all these, and then flush. That's all. So now if I refresh, then nothing is here. So just treat this is the fresh application. Okay, new service, and there is no database here. So before deploying this service, I want to create a schema first. Okay, so for that, again I will go to the Flywaydb here, user management DB, which uses the Flywaydb framework. So if I refresh, this is nothing here. So I want to create a script. Okay, I want to run the script. To create a schema from the scratch. Okay, so for that, let me use the same, this one, v1 underscore initial.sql, and in this case I will use another table structure like user management dot users. Okay, so I will just say here, that's all. Okay, so this is the simulation kind of thing, like we are creating the schema from the scratch using Flywaydb. Okay, and we have not yet deployed our service so far. So this is the first step. We are deploying schema first. Okay, then after that we will deploy our service. Okay, and we will see. So this is ready, guys. So we have v1 underscore initial.sql. So this is the very first table in this script, and we are going to run this application. Okay, let me stop. And one more thing I want to say here, in the application, this one, user mgmtdb application, let's not run this as a web application. Let's change this. Okay, so what I am saying here is Spring application app, like this, app.run, and here app.set web application type, none, so that it will finish it. Okay, once you run it will finish it. Okay, it will not keep holding. That's it. So let's run this application, refresh. Let's run this and see how it will execute this v1 initial. Okay, to create a schema from the scratch. Now I'm running this application, guys. Let's see. So we are talking about use case number 2, guys, just keep remember. Okay, so now if you see here, it has executed successfully and finished the process here. And let's refresh this schema, and you can see here. Okay, so this is the fresh table got created, and this is the history table which always be there from the Flyway framework, okay, for record keeping perspective. And if you see the user, so we have nothing here. So now come to the our application, and so now if I refresh, so the schema is ready, guys. Okay, so now our next job is just to run this application, deploy this application, and see whether you are able to successfully now run your API or not. So in this we have a user controller. So in this we have a save and find all. That's 2 API which I have exposed here. So let me run this application. And the property of application.yaml is as it is, like user management and database, and this is the root and root, this is the username and password, and JPA and JPA properties like that. Okay, data source and JPA under Spring. So let me run this. Very simple, guys. So this is a very simple application just to explain Flywaydb how it works for 2 use case perspective. So now application is started with the port 8080. So I have a postman here just to test our API. So we have a create user and the find all user. So let's create a user with the name like select. This is the dummy data here, first name, last name, email and password. Let's run this. See, this is the success. And another maybe another I can say delete or not delete, or maybe say coder. Okay, copy this, paste this, something like that. Okay, so I have executed these 2 API. Let's find it out whether it's there or not in DB. Okay, yeah, you can see here 2 data records got added in the database. Okay, which means our schema is perfect, and data is getting saved here. See this select encoder. That's all, guys. So this is how I have discussed about Flywaydb from 2 use case perspective. So let me summarize it. So the topic was just to understand what is the Flywaydb and how to use it, and what is the purpose. It solves the purpose. Okay, and the second thing is like we have a 2 use case we have gone through. Like the first is when the service and DB is already present in your production environment or in your non-production environment, wherever the environment which you have, and you want to introduce your Flywaydb just to enhance your schema, right? So for that, this is the use case number 1. And use case number 2, when you want to create a schema from the scratch and service from the scratch. Okay, so these 2 use cases we have discussed about in this tutorial, in this video. And yeah, so that's all from this. And yeah, so like I was talking about some of the property here in our discussion, right? What is the application.yaml? So in this we have a Flywaydb. These are the properties, like you can see here, like explanation. If you see the explanation by this, right, you can understand like enabling, like if you want to enable Flywaydb kind of thing. Okay, and validate on migration. So this is the validation purpose properties. Okay, when set a true, Flyway will validate the applied migration against the available migration script, right? So whatever is it there in the DB and whatever you are going to apply, so it will validate it. Okay, every time as migration is performed. And the baseline on migrate true. Say suppose this is the use case number 1 I was talking about. You have a data in your database, you have a service running in your production environment, and you want to introduce the schema change, then this is the property, guys. And the baseline version is 0. Here we have started with 0, and here we have given the version v1 here. Say suppose if you give v0, right, then this script will never execute. Okay, so please pay attention. This is the important aspect which I am talking about here. So let me read this. Flyway will make this version as applied. Okay, so this is the version which is applied already, allowing you to start apply new migration from this point onwards. So what is the new migration from this point onward is 1. After 0 there is a 1, right? That's the reason I have just added it here 1. And yeah, and this is the location where you are talking about, where your script stay here, exist here, right? So that's all guys, from the Flywaydb perspective. And this is another one, like naming true. When to set true, this property instructs Flyway to validate the naming of the migration files. Okay, so this is talking about this naming convention, right? So I just mentioned in during discussion. So we have a naming convention like V, capital V, then version number, 2 times underscore, and then the description. Okay guys, so this is how we understood the Flywaydb from the use case perspective, when there is no data and where is the data. Okay, and this is the typical data source and JPA property, you know guys all very well. Okay, so that's all from this video, and thanks for watching, and we will see and meet you in the next video. Thanks a lot.